This AskReddit user asks, what was your "we're done" moment with a friend? I've dropped the rope with two friends who are siblings. The brother likes to make jokes that involve hurting me. He threw a hard sweet at my head. Like a gobstopper. And my now fiancé told him off. He threw another one at my face. And hit my eye. I was crying in pain and he got upset that my fiancé yelled at him to cut it out. It took seeing someone else defend me to realize how crappy it was that my friend liked to cause me physical pain. His sister got into a relationship a little before I got together with my fiancé. She keeps trying to find issues in my relationship that aren't there. Her family were slow to warm up to her boyfriend. While my parents loved my fiancé from the get-go. She kept trying to convince me my parents wouldn't accept him. They had some issues after moving in together. While we did not. Again, she kept trying to tell me I was mad at him or he was mad at me. Then she wore white to my sister's wedding and bitched to me that there weren't enough vegan options on the canapé platters. And then proceeded to eat all the seafood off them. If you can eat the seafood, why not put that on your RSVP? My brother used to do that to me growing up. Literally hurt me for his own amusement all the time. My parents would always be like, boys will be boys. And never stop him. That was like 20 years ago and I'm still PD every time I think about it. I still don't get how it's funny. Sounds like those friends had some serious issues. Needing to physically, mentally hurt you to feel superior or something. Glad you got rid of them. How old is this guy if he's throwing gobstoppers at people? Being able to throw gobstoppers at people is something truly everlasting. Well, depending on how tomorrow goes. When she went to jail. I'm intrigued. What situation sees you be supportive of your friend on the condition that they're not convicted? ? I mean, you're not done with her whilst she's on trial, I'm assuming. So color me interested. What happened? For what? When he refused to take my advice with any of the girls he was interested in and became to hate me when I found myself in a great relationship. Everything was about him. What he wanted to do. Where he wanted to go. And everyone always owed him something. If someone didn't loan him their car, for example, they were the AE. Her boyfriend at the time raped me. When I told her, she said, so he's cheating on me. ... She continued to defend him on it. Goodbye. What a dumb FGBH. She's like a cartoon character who completely and hilariously misses an obvious point of something for some insanely small, pointless detail. I don't mean to make light of your story though. They both deserve to be alone for the rest of their lives. And the boyfriend deserves a few decades in a prison cell. When they left me after telling me to get help for my mental health when I was at a low point. Been there. Not the best feeling, but it's the first step into getting into a better state. If those around you are not supportive, then honestly, good riddance. I had a close friend poke fun at the state I was in to all mutual friends, acting as if my low point is the greatest entertainment piece for people to enjoy. So FKM. Hope you're doing better now. I was friends with one of my coworkers at the time and she was always super chill when we hung out. I even babysat her daughter when she had to pick up shifts. However, every time we were at work she would straight up ignore me and act like we never talk. Got exhausted trying to keep up, so had to end it there. My grandmother had just passed away. And I was really upset about it. She told me that people die. That's how life works. Then proceeded to complain to me for 15 minutes about how upset she was that her mom stole $20 from her to get some weed. What an AE. After my grandfather died. She said, "Oh, I know what you mean. I felt the same after my dog died. I love dogs, but seriously?" Sounds like she was just trying to sympathize with you and let you know she knows how it feels to have a loved one. Human or not. Pass. Since I haven't had a close family member die yet. I imagine it's a lot like the pain and emptiness I felt after losing a pet. As long as she wasn't trying to be rude, condescending about it. There's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, I know how it feels to lose a loved one and I'm here for you." After having lost my father and my dog, I literally watched them both die suddenly before my eyes, so I think I'm a pretty good control for this sorta thing. I can say that losing a dog you loved dearly and have had many memories with hurts a lot, and while not a one comparison, it's still in the same realm. Of course, the grief of losing my father was orders of magnitude greater than when I lost my dog. But still the feeling was there, and it wasn't something I could have easily brushed off. I've had people call me stupid for loving my dog and comparing it to losing a loved one. To anyone reading this that thinks along those lines, I just feel the need to say that if you don't understand loving something that you've formed a relationship with over 10 years, then I don't really want to talk to you, and I think you're a very cold person who lacks empathy. I think calling someone stupid for grieving over something they loved makes you a rotten person. Of course, it's not a world-shattering loss. But it's not nothing. I cried for weeks and I still get teary thinking about her. If that isn't grief, then I really don't want to find out what your definition of grief is. When I found out he FD my WE of a wife in the Pizza Hut bathroom. This was nearly 30 years ago and I never spoke to him since. Until the other day, I was at a convenience store and he walked in and tried to make conversation like we were long-lost buddies. I never grey-rocked anyone so hard. Grey-rocked. Goes unemotional. Uninterested. Not answering. Tries to become boring. To get the other person to lose interest and leave them alone. Kinda try to be like a grey rock. Grey rock technique. It's a strategy typically used when you have a narcissist in your life. Narcissists feed off of manipulating others' emotions. So by depriving them of any fuel, they are unable to toy with you and hurt you. It's a great technique if you have a narcissist in your life and can't fully cut them out for whatever reason. When he dropped a letter off at my house detailing all his reasons for being upset with me. He concluded the letter by suggesting that he didn't want to hear from me unless I had only good and positive things to say about him. I was left in a position of being unable to address any of the points he brought up, regardless of their validity. I have not contacted him since. When she made fun of my husband to his face. It was when he and I first started dating and she just straight up said, "What the FK is wrong with your nose?" Quote, "For the record, there is nothing wrong with his nose. It's just a curved nose like IDK. Vincent Castle's." It was pretty rich coming from her. Regardless, I stopped talking to her at all after that. Total BH move. Same here. I stopped talking to a friend because she always had a snide comment about my then fiancé. He's a shorter guy and obviously he has known this his whole life. I really don't think he needed to be reminded. She had made comments for years while we dated and I always kind of let it slide because I didn't want to make it bigger than it was or make my man feel emasculated if I were to stand up for him. He is a very mature man and doesn't let much get to him, but I didn't want to make him feel even worse. Anyway, one day I snapped after she greeted me with a hug and patted him on the head like a child. I went full BH. This was after she cried to me about me not asking her to be my bridesmaid. Sorry, but if you don't respect my almost husband, you don't respect me. I never spoke badly about her husband and I would never do it, especially about something like his appearance. I am now married and am so happy I didn't ask her to be in my wedding. In fact, that was the end of that friendship. Man, your husband is one lucky dude. Much respect standing up for people you love. Amen to that. My ex-GF broke up with me because she thought she wasn't ready for a relationship. We decided to try and be friends. A month later she got a new boyfriend. As soon as she told me, I stopped talking to her because I don't like people who lie to me. I don't recommend being friends with an ex. When she called to BH and whine about boyfriend troubles the day I lost my job and barely acknowledged it when I told her. Frick off, Lisa. I went on a mini vacation with my friend Ken. Bill, Ken's boyfriend. And Ross. a friend of Bill that I was meeting for the first time. At first things were great, but towards the end of the vacation, Ken and Bill got into an argument. Ross and I were uncomfortable with the situation, so we went out to check out the bars downtown. Just after we had finally found a place to park, Ross got a call from Bill. We immediately go back as their fight turned physical with Ken beating on Bill. That was it. Vacation over. Ross and I packed up our things and left with Bill to take the 12 hours drive home immediately. Ken saw that I was taking Bill's side, so he starts to taunt me. What do you know about love? You've never had a boyfriend. I had told him that it bothers me was that no one seems to want me. I have never found anyone that has wanted to date me. He knew where to place the knife and twist it. We left him there. Ken hasn't had another boyfriend since. He has lost his job and is technically homeless as far as I know. Ross moved away down south. Last I heard he was doing well. Bill found another man. They recently got married. I see him every now and then. He has settled in domestic life and is happy. Well, you knew that beating up your partner isn't love, so I think you're at least a step ahead of your ex-friend there. The truth has been spoken. This feels like a grown-up Stand By Me ending. FK Ken though. You don't have to have known love to know what it is. When she complained that I was ruining her New Year's Eve after a drunk guy assaulted me and hit me with a bar stool and I wanted to go home. I've been in similar situations. That's the norm for people like that. I got left at a big event that was a 4-hour drive from my house by the guy who brought me there. I told his friends and they told me that I was probably bumming him out. To those types of people, their party has to go on at all cost. If you aren't having fun, then FK you. Ah yes. How dare you wish to seek medical attention for possible serious injury? So selfish of you. Like seriously. In what world does this dumb piece of ST think that's decent logic? She must have been absolutely tanked, but that doesn't make it any less stupid and wrong. Was in a band in high school. I played drums. Friend played various other percussion. Band takes a break. Friend needs rides to and from school because we live in the same neighborhood and he can't afford a car. He normally came over to my house after school and ate a lot of food at my house and played our video games and all kinds of friend stuff. 6-ish months into it, I found out on the weekends the band was still meeting up to practice. And Friend was on the drums. Not me. I felt so betrayed. There was no coming back. When she put our apartment online for rent without telling me, leaving me homeless. When he said he supports pedophilia. Yes. The same happened to me in HS. I never talked to that guy again. Because not only he supported pedophilia, but also tried to convince me that it's normal, stating that if you could support a guy liking a guy, why can't you support a guy liking a child? Quote. That's trying to equate a man being very close to a child the same way a man to a male best friend at best. Which I can kinda understand. But equating homosexuality to pedophilia at worst. Which is insanely offensive and hurtful. Even if he didn't realize it. I agree. I've unfortunately seen many people equate such topics to homosexuality in a bad way. Pedophilia, zoophilia, necrophilia. Bottom line is, unfortunately, a lot of people still think at the back of their heads that homosexuality is not normal, even though they act like it is. Because if they really think it is normal, they wouldn't equate it to these topics in a bad way. Asked to borrow $100 for car repairs and would pay me back the next week when they got paid. Week came around and I asked if I could get my hundo because I was a little short on funds too. It's been about 6 months since then and I haven't heard from them once. Best $100 I've spent. Last time I saw her, all she spoke about were Instagram influencers and the restaurants they go to, the things they do, where. She talks about these people as if they were her friends. No interest in anything. Didn't bother to ask about my new job. My breakup. Nothing. She's stuck in high school. That was all. I haven't seen her since. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos.